in the world of breast cancer and like being diagnosed at 25. Why did my doctors look at me and say, freeze your eggs now, and yours didn't?
And it was the first time that I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I prioritized the wrong thing.
Because of cancer, I can't have any more kids. I wanted more children. Now I think about it and I have major regrets. But you gotta kind of look at it this way. I get to be here for the child that I have. Everything happens for a reason, and I have a beautiful 9-year-old who is going on 21, and so I have that, and I have friends and family who are all having babies now, and so I'm okay with that.
I got you. You made me cry.
Sorry.
I know you had said earlier that they didn't prep you about freezing eggs or anything like it never even came up. Is there a level of even anger with that?
I am angry. Nobody ever sits down and goes, okay, what did you want for the future? What did you want for yourself? I never got that. And then by the time that the discussion had come up, it was too late. I couldn't afford to go and freeze my eggs and to do all of that.
Well, and I think it speaks to the whole system, because to hear your experience, mine couldn't have been more opposite. Why did my doctors look at me and say, freeze your eggs now, and yours didn't? Is it age? Is it race? Is it what things are available, what resources are available at which institutions, how easy is it for somebody to get in? And so it just makes you really, really think about that.
It's amazing to me that they didn't ask you about that, because I feel like my entire life I have gotten the question when I've gone to the doctor from the time I was like 20, well, are you thinking of having kids? And I have never really wanted to have kids. It's just not something that I've wanted. And I would say no. And then the doctor would be like, well, you're going to change your mind.
I spent my whole life, and I was 30 when I was diagnosed, focusing on my career and trying not to get pregnant, trying everything to avoid pregnancy, right? So when the time came and it was my first appointment, they're like, you're gonna lose your hair, you're gonna lose your breasts, and do you wanna have kids? And it was the first time that I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I prioritized the wrong thing. Oh my God, I can't even carry. I will never be able to carry. It will always be expensive to have a family. And then even if I do have a family, as someone who's metastatic, my husband jokes, he's like, don't you think I'd be a great single dad? And I'm like, yes, you'd be fantastic. But I have to think about that. If I'm not here, is that fair? And I don't know that I've really come to that conclusion.
I was 22, I was in my senior year of college. The last thing on my mind is marrying, having kids, now I have to think about IVF because I don't want to pass the gene on, right? But IVF is expensive, freezing my eggs is expensive, and a lot of these things aren't covered. Those are hard choices to make when all of this is being thrown at you. And it's well, you decide.
Yeah.
Right?
How do you decide?
How do you decide?
How do you decide that?
I thought that was one of the harder parts for me, was in the world of breast cancer and being diagnosed at 25. You're expected to have an answer pretty immediately. You were just diagnosed with cancer and you need to start treatment, and pretty immediately you have to make a decision, do I want to do this or not? I think a big shift for me has been realizing, I don't even know if it's realizing that I want to be a mom per se, but I notice it more out in public. And I think that just inherently happens when traumatic things happen in our lives. But I used to have these huge, grand dreams of what my life would look like, and now I'll be driving past a kid's soccer game and I'm that'd be cool too. It's just my idea of what living looks like now. It's I'd really take pretty much the bare minimum if it means that at 45 I'm alive and going to watch my kid's soccer game, And so that's, I think, where I find comfort, that I did freeze my eggs, and that is not out of the realm of possibility for me.